Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Crew First Culture podcast. This is Jeremy, and I am very thankful and happy to have you on for a little bit with me today. Thank you for spending that time with me. I, once again, like probably most episodes, I've tried recording this a few times and just haven't been really happy with where it's gone. And so hopefully this time I can kind of get a little bit of better direction for myself and really share the message that I am wanting to share, because I feel like this is a very important conversation that we all need to have right now, really. And just as I say, probably too much, I hope that in some way it adds value to somebody's life, even just a little bit. And that's kind of the goal. That's why I'm doing this, why I have done this. And even though it's been hard to maintain some consistency, it's why I keep coming back and why I want to continue this. And that once again is to hopefully add a little bit of value to somebody's life out there, because there's a lot of things that a lot of people, a lot of different people need to hear. And if something I have to say is something that somebody else needs to hear, I don't want to keep that to myself. And so anyway, I guess first of all, I'm going to try my best not to be constantly clearing my throat and coughing, but dealing with a little bit of sinus stuff. So I'll try my best. Hopefully it won't get too annoying. But so what we're going to talk about today, and maybe lots more to come, because I feel like there's just so much to this, and more every day you just hear of more and more people being affected by this. Just this morning I was really saddened to hear of a good friend of mine, just one of the most amazing people I've ever really known or got to know or heard of in the fire service, losing his job because of trying to do good things and trying to make a difference in the fire service. And it just doesn't make sense. I just don't get it. I don't understand it, and I never will. And I hope that someday that changes. I hope that each day we get closer to swinging the other side of that pendulum, but it sure seems like we're headed the other direction as of right now. And so, it just makes me want to continue to do what I can, because, that's exactly what he was doing everything he can to help others. And, if it's the time in his journey that he needs to be somewhere else, and that's the plan that God has for him, he's accepted that, and looking forward to the future, and that's great. I'm glad that he's got that attitude. But it's just sad to see that this is how those journeys have to either end or change course, instead of okay, you've done an amazing job here. Now you need to go find somewhere else to do an amazing job. It's you're done. Go find something else to do. And I just hate it. Anyway, what we're talking about, and it's going to be pretty dynamic, but kind of as the general topic, is just barriers to opportunity. And yes, I've talked a lot about this here and there, and maybe even lately, just because it kind of it is on my heart right now, because I've come up with a class that basically discusses the same thing. But what is holding us back? What are the things that keeps us from doing what we can do, and doing more? And there's some obvious answers there. There's some answers that we don't want to really admit to, and there's some answers that we really need to take a hard look at, because it's the truth. Answers like, time. Am I taking time away from my family that needs to be put into my family? That's a big question that we all need to constantly ask ourselves. If the answer to that is yes, then it's time to reevaluate what we are putting into the fire service. I love the fire service. I owe it everything that I can give. I want so much to do everything I can to make it better. But at the same time, I'm not willing to lose my family over it. And so that's something I have to constantly be aware of and intentional with my time so that I am not putting my family on the back burner to serve the fire service. And I trust me, it is easy to do. It is so easy to do. This is a job and a passion, whatever you want to call it. It's something that is very easy for us to just fall in love with and to really enjoy doing. We're helping people, we're making a difference. Just being a human, that's a big deal. I mean, it makes us feel good. And so that being the case, it's easy for us to slip into doing it more and more and more so that we don't lose that feeling. It stays fresh. But as we do it more and more and more, somebody is getting the short end of the stick. And more times than not, that's our family. And so definitely that is a question we need to constantly be asking ourselves so that we maintain that balance and don't lose sight of what is truly the most important priority, and that is our family. But beyond that, I feel like there are a lot of things that are holding us back from growth, from making a difference. And two of those are really kind of what I feel like are the price of that. The price that you will pay for growth is discomfort and pain. And that is something that I have learned firsthand over the past several years, but absolutely for sure over the past year. And I know I've discussed, the past year quite a bit, but that is the 100% truth. I feel like, yes, I have grown a lot. I've gained a lot of growth. I've learned a lot. I've developed some skills in different areas as far as just dealing with situations, handling problems, leadership, whatever, all of these different areas. I feel like I have gained a lot of growth, and I feel like I've had to, because I wouldn't have made it to this point if I didn't. But what that has cost me is lots and lots of discomfort and lots of pain. And so the discomfort thing, that's pretty easy to kind of visualize. Everybody knows what that looks like. Everybody knows what I mean by that. Discomfort, you get out of your comfort zone to grow. You cannot grow in your comfort zone. So obviously, you are going to face discomfort if you want to grow. But the pain, I feel like maybe there's a little bit to dig into there. What am I meaning by that? What is that exactly? What does that mean to me? So for me, why I say that is, those two things are the price that you pay for growth is because along with that discomfort, the discomfort kind of takes a back seat to the pain that I have felt. And the pain that I have felt is due to me having to stand for what I feel is right, even when it hurts to do so. me making choices that I really don't want to have to make, because it's one of those decisions that has no good outcomes. Either way you decide, somebody's getting hurt. And for me, that brings pain. And when I say pain, I've described it to my wife a little bit here and there. There are certain situations that, in this time frame, the things that I'm talking about, there have been times when it might as well be physical pain. It feels like physical pain to me. I try not to get into a lot of, the really personal stuff, but I feel like there's a lot of lessons to be learned in some of the things that I am going through. And I know that the times that I brought this up in the past couple episodes, it's been very kind of just shadowy and not really given any details. And that's because I'm fighting with that balance of staying private, but at the same time, there's a lot of lessons to be learned for others through our story. So even as I'm saying that, I'm sitting here struggling with how far to go with it. But just to throw a little bit of a bone out to everybody to hopefully gain a little bit from where we're at. We've got an older teenager. He turned 18 a few months ago, which is great. The problem is he's still got a whole year of high school left, and that is a struggle. It is a struggle to be in that situation for him and for us. He has wanted to be treated like an adult. He has, verbalized that over and over again. And this has kind of been a year and a half's journey of kind of seeing this start to manifest, dealing with it as it is, and dealing with it after it has kind of come along. And so, seeing it coming, we knew that we're probably going to be dealing with some issues because we want to treat him like an adult. He, as far as the law is concerned, that's exactly what he is. But what we wanted him to understand is, as far as life goes, he's not. He is very much still a kid, and has many years ahead of him before he really gets away from that. And so just trying and trying and trying and trying to talk some life experience into him, some knowledge of what he is going to be facing, and all this, just trying and trying over and over again through the months, and really not seeing any kind of just progress as far as it being absorbed and used. And it was frustrating, very frustrating. And as the time went, I knew that once we get to that birthday, there are going to be some choices that are going to have to be made that somebody is not going to like. And if it's put on me to have to make that choice, that's what's going to happen. I'm going to have to make choices that I might not like, that it might rip me apart on the inside to make, but I have got to make them. And so I was basically trying to prepare myself, really. And even though I did try my best to prepare myself, once that time came, it really, there was no preparing. the time came, he turned 18. We kind of sat down and talked to him about some things. Yeah, we can be a little bit more lenient in some areas. But the truth is, when school starts back up, you're still a high school student. So you still have to get this last year done. You still have to take care of yourself and not be up all night. And, you have responsibilities of somebody that is in high school because that's exactly what you are. And so, some groundwork was laid and a little bit of time was given to see what he wanted to do. The option is always to move out. I mean, we've already faced that with 3 other kids. We're not able to keep you in our house if you're old enough to move out. That's your choice. So we gave him what we were able to give him, those options. We gave him the expectations if he decided to stay, and told him that it doesn't make sense to move out financially. You're putting yourself in a bad spot right out of the gate, all of this. So trust me, the reason I keep saying these things is because we in no way, shape, or form wanted to push him out. Unless, and here's the big unless he could not respect the rules that were given to him and respect our house and respect, everything else that any normal human being is asked of. And so, like I said, a little time passes to see how it was going to go. And some decisions and choices were made, not by us, that proved very clearly that he was not going to be either willing or capable of respecting what we ask of him. And so I was then put in a place that I had really hoped not to be in, prepared myself to be in, but at the same time, still really, really hoped that I would not ever have to be in, but I was. And so seeing the choices he made, seeing the disrespect that continued, I had to give him the ultimatum of, well, not even really ultimatum. It was basically, okay, this is the choice you made. So this is the time frame you have to find somewhere else to go. And so, that started the next chapter in this sucky journey. Time went by and finally had to basically pack his stuff up for him because he was not really in any hurry to do anything. And it was hard. All of these things were hard, and it feels like every stage later is even harder. You know, I've seen him struggle. I've seen him, have to deal with things that I know are stressful just in the short amount of time that we've kind of been on the other side of this when he's been on his own. I got to a point where my wife and I, we were thinking about him and sent him a text a while back saying, please don't think that you're not welcome at our house. We're more than happy to have you in our house if you need to. And I didn't go into any other specifics. Apparently I needed to, but I felt like that goes without saying that you still have to respect the house and the rules. But he started coming around more and started talking about coming back, and that was great. And so I started to kind of figure out what were some good ground rules to expect of a 18-year-old kid that's still in school. And then as I was doing this, the next couple days, he made it very, very obvious that nothing has changed. Nothing that we have asked of him has changed or will change in any near future. So, I had to drop it. Just say, it's not an option right now until some changes have been made. And so, sorry if I'm boring you with all this or saying things that maybe I shouldn't, but I just want to share this story because even though I'm still trying to respect some boundaries and not dig very deep into this story, I want to share it because it's been very hard for me. Several times I've told my wife it literally feels like my insides are just ripping apart. And it's no joke. I mean, I hate this. This sucks to have to do. This is the part of parenting that nobody really wants to do. Nobody wants to talk about. Nobody wants to deal with. It's fun to love our kids and do fun things with our kids and watch them grow and be happy. But to have to make choices that that puts them in possibly dangerous situations or situations where they're possibly not taken care of as well as you hope they would be. When you're faced with that choice, but you know that if you don't make that choice and you allow whatever it is to continue, then you're hurting them more than they could possibly be hurt the other way. If I helped him through these situations and came down and rescued him through, all these other things that have happened and turned a blind eye to the things that are happening in the house that we've asked not to happen, the only thing that is going to come from that is he is going to continue to do it until we literally kick him out for good. Don't want to have anything to do with him because the relationship is totally trashed. And then what is going to happen? He is going to live his life like that is okay because we have made it okay. And I'm not willing to do that. I'm not willing to sacrifice his future and our future as just a relationship because I want to be more comfortable and not to have to hurt when I make these choices. That's not a trade I'm willing to make. And trust me, if I sound like somebody that is real tough guy, I don't take any crap and it's my way or the highway or all that. It just ask my wife, and that is absolutely the opposite of that. She has had to really be a foundation for me to lean on over and over again because many times I have not been strong enough to make these decisions. I've not been strong enough to handle making the right decisions. I've had to really dig within myself to pull this out, to maintain the solid ground that I've been on, that I know I cannot move from. And so anyway, I know it was a really long rabbit trail just to talk about, you know, one word. I started it off by kind of describing what pain meant for me. But I feel like it's a very important story because it shows you exactly what I mean. Yes, I'm proud of how much I've grown over the past year and a half. I'm proud of being able to stand up for what is right. I'm proud of being able to show the younger kids that are still in the house that these things are not acceptable and they will not be tolerated from you either. What kind of example would I have been making for them? I mean, I'm just setting myself up for years and years of bad times if I give in to this. So, yes, I'm very proud of where I have came from where I was, but the price of that has been a lot of discomfort, a lot of times outside of my comfort zone, and even more pain over and over again, facing the pain of having to make decisions that I don't want to have to make. But that's the hand I was dealt. I didn't make the choices to be put in that situation. All I can do is make the best decisions from where I was. And so that's kind of where I was. And so, what is holding you back right now from growth? Is it just the fear of discomfort? Is it the fear of the pain that you're going to face? I get it. Trust me, I get it. But I want you to look at it this way as well. Yes, it's been very painful, some of the things I've had to do, some of the decisions I've had to make. But really, that only tells me that it was that important. If it wasn't very discomfort, or if it wasn't very uncomfortable, if it wasn't very painful, then really how much growth are you getting from that? It doesn't sound like it's that big of a deal. So I would say you're probably not getting much growth. If it's something that makes you very, very uncomfortable, if it's something that makes you physically hurt because of the growth you're going through, then that is some serious and some important growth. That is what we have to fight through. Those are the times that we have got to push and push until we get to the other side, because those are the important times that we cannot give up on. We cannot bow down and just give in. We've got to win those battles. Going back to my friend who lost his job, talking about the plan that he has in place for him, and I, the faith that people have that believe in that is great. I love it. That's been a big thing for me. Just no matter what's going on, no matter what we're going through, what I have to deal with, having the faith that it's happening for a reason. I just got to continue to grow, and that reason will eventually happen for me. Thinking of that and thinking of kind of where we're going with, what's holding us back and the barriers, I feel like that trust and that faith, that's a big piece of this. I know that not everybody out there is big into faith and big into, talking about things like that, but I'm sorry, it's a big deal. And so kind of wrapping things up to do something I've done before, basically just kind of read some lyrics to a song and just be thankful that, I'm not trying to sing the song, but I've I've read one of Lauren Dangle's song lyrics before. I believe it was "You Say." Great song, just a amazing song that when I am kind of in a bad spot or when I'm hurting, I listen to that song a lot. Well, this is another one of her songs and another one right on that same kind of that same platform, and it's called Trust in You. And so I'll just read kind of some of the verses and then I'll go over the chorus at the end just because I don't want to do it over and over, but I'll leave you with this. Please listen and really think about it. And if you if you don't want to listen to me, just go download or listen to the song, let her sing it for you. But if you really like the words, I kind of challenge you to go listen some more to it, listen to her sing it. I'm sure that will mean so much more and speak very much loudly, more louder than I am going to do it. But anyway, thank you for your time. I will leave you with this, but letting go of every single dream, I'll lay each one down at your feet. Every moment of my wondering never changes what you see. I've tried to win this war, I confess. My hands are weary, I need your rest. Mighty warrior, king of the fight, no matter what I face, you're by my side. Truth is, you know what tomorrow brings. There's not a day ahead you have not seen. So in all things, be my life and my breath. I want what you want, Lord, and nothing less. I will trust in you. You are my strength and my comfort. You are my steady hand. You are my firm foundation, the rock on which I stand. Your ways are always higher. Your plans are always good. There's not a place where I'll go you have not already stood. When you don't move the mountains, I'm needing you to move. When you don't part the waters, I wish I could walk through. When you don't give the answers as I cry out to you, I will trust. I will trust. I will trust in you. Thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. I hope that I gave a little bit of something to think about, a little bit of something to maybe help you through your journey. Please reach out to me anytime with questions or whatever you would like to say. Again, throwing this out there, if you will take the time to go rate the podcast and leave a review, let me know. I will send you some stickers. I'll copying off some friends, some other podcast hosts, but that is more than happy to do that to show my show my appreciation to you for taking that time. So please just let me know if you do that and I will get that to you. As always, I look forward to the next time coming on, but you stay humble and do work.